Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your...
This kind of thing happens to me every week.
Photo News Fix. This fix is brought to you by Squarespace, and I want to do something a little different right now. I want to critique your website for free. Now, I don't care if it's built on Squarespace or not. I simply want to give you some feedback and direction. Now, if you don't currently have a website and you want one, I can't recommend Squarespace enough. I've been using it for jaredpolin.com for over 12 years because it's super simple, affordable, and you don't need to know any coding. Head on over to squarespace.com/FroKnowsPhoto to get your 14-day free trial. And if you decide that it's for you, use the code FroKnowsPhoto at checkout to get 10% off your first order. Now, here's how you get your quick critique from me for free. Email support@FroKnowsPhoto.com with the subject line website critique. Now, if you're on a 14-day free trial, be sure to add 14-day trial to the subject line, then send a link to your site and give me some time to reply. First up, CF Express 4.0 was recently announced, which doubles the theoretical maximum throughput while maintaining the same form factor. This means newer CF Express A and B cards have the potential to be much faster and still be reverse compatible with past cameras and card readers. But did you know that there is a CF Express C card as well?
C is for Cooke.
No, I've never seen one in the real world, but it is a thing. Just think of it as being something like 4 times the size of a Type B, and unlike Type B, which has 2 lanes for data, and A that only has 1 lane for data, Type C has 4. But theoretically, you should be able to move data at breakneck speeds, but I doubt we'll ever see Type C cards in a consumer or prosumer camera. And with all that being said, ProGrade Digital has announced their 3rd generation Type B memory cards with a capacity of 1.3 terabytes, not 1.21 gigawatts, which would be much better.
Great Scott!
And to go along with that, a new 4.0 reader that takes advantage of USB 4 speeds. You can pre-order one of those cards for an arm and a leg, or $1,459 for an arm. And if you want to include the leg,
I have no leg.
in a double pack, that will be $2,629.99 for 2. Now, don't forget, ProGrade does make a 2 terabyte CF Express B card that will set you back $800, but it is not a 4.0 card. The moral of the story, no camera takes advantage of the theoretical speeds yet, but you should see blazing fast offloads via Thunderbolt 3 and USB 4. Next up, Cooke Optics, who some of you may never have heard of.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Hell, I never heard of them until I was hanging out on a movie set.
Did you get the ice shoe raw shirt I sent you?
And someone told me that that Cooke lens costs more than some people's cars. Not mine though, because Lambos are expensive.
I thought you had a Hemi.
For reference, a full set of 10 Cooke Mini S4 Cine lenses costs $72,000. But now Cooke has announced a new line of lenses called SP3, which is designed for mirrorless cameras and is promising to deliver a cinematic look to the modern videography market. There are 5 lenses starting with a 25, a 32, a 50, a 75, and 100 millimeter, all with a t2.4 aperture. Now keep in mind, these are manual focus lenses only, so they aren't for everyone.
They make shitty movies better.
Now these 5 lenses come ready for your E-mount cameras, but you will be able to swap to an RF mount and even the
L-Mount Alliance.
in the future. The set of 5 lenses will set you back $21,375, which is reasonable considering how expensive Cooke lenses can be. Though this might not be for everyone, filmmakers who are looking for that cinematic Cooke look from smaller rigs or even drones might be very happy with this development. Actually, I know who's gonna buy a set of these: Charli D'Amelio. You know, so that she can get even better dance videos for her TikTok. Now, before we get to the last story, do you like Lionel Messi? Well, I'm giving away 10 Messi prints printed on my Canon Pro 1000 printer. Check out the last vlog that I did, which is linked down below, which is called I Failed or Did I, to see how you can enter to get a print for free. And finally, Canon continues to dominate the global market share for cameras sold, according to a report by Digital Camera World and Digital Camera Info. The report shows that Canon made up 46.5% of all units sold in 2023, with how How can they do this? We're not even at the end of 2023. I'm just realizing that now. That makes absolutely no sense. This makes no sense. Anyway, they moved 3.348 million camera units, whereas Sony sold around 1.879 million in the same time frame. But where it gets a little gray is
Gray area.
that the report doesn't say what part of the sales are mirrorless and what are legacy DSLR sales, but more on that in just a second. But let's look at this chart. Canon makes up 46.5% with Sony in second at 26.1, Nikon at 11.7, Fuji at 5.8, Panasonic at 4.2, and Pentax at -5. But where it gets really interesting is when you look at just mirrorless sales. Canon sold more units by volume than Sony with 1.54 million sold versus Sony's 1.25 million, but it seems that even though Sony sold less, they ended up making more money.
Oh, I like money.
Once DSLR sales are truly dead, I think you're gonna see Canon and Sony's market share be much closer together. But until then, Sony is still crushing in CMOS sensor sales with 47.9% of an $18.5 billion market. That's a lot of quiche. That's a lot of quiche. And Sony's doing all right. Everybody else, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see who wins the market in the long run. And there you have it, Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.